Hey, if any of you are looking for any last-minute gift ideas for me, I have one. I like Frank Shirley, my boss, right here tonight. I want him brought from his happy holiday slumber over there in Melody Lane with all the other rich people, and I want him brought right here with a big ribbon on his head. And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is. Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. It's Monday night. It's Two Guys in a Trailer. Tonight, we're talking about what I think is the quintessential must-watch Christmas movie. One of the greatest of all times. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Take it away, Steven.
All right. Well, I, for one, had never seen this movie before, which I don't know how that happened, but this was my first time seeing it, and I'm going to have to agree. It's definitely one of the better Christmas movies. I don't know if I'm going to call it the best, because I think Die Hard is still objectively the best Christmas movie of all time.
That's fair enough. That is fair enough.
It definitely caught me off guard. It surprised me. I laughed a lot more than I thought I was going to, but we'll get into all the ins and outs of it. So you want to start out with our movie facts?
Yep. So how we're gonna let's start it off right here. All right, we're talking about 1989. Was it 85?
89.
89. So 89, which it just celebrated its 30-year anniversary. It's hard to think this is a 30-year-old movie, right?
Yeah.
So, $25 million. In today's money, that's somewhere around, what did we say, 50-ish million in today's money. So, I mean, this was a big budget movie with a star-studded cast. Pulled in 71 million at the box office worldwide. So, it was a really big success. And the feed is choppy. Ask everyone if theirs is choppy also.
It is.
Well, I don't...
The audio, they said, is fine, but the video is skipping really bad.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know why. It doesn't say I'm dropping any frames or anything.
Yeah, like it's...
Okay. Well, guys, I don't know what to tell you. We had to... The reason we were having technical difficulties is because XSplit, the encoder that I normally use, decided, hey, you can't log into to Google today because you have a show and whatnot, and go to hell. So we're doing the best we can. I don't know what else to tell you. That's about as good as it's gonna get, I suppose. So 7 out of 10. On this one, 7.6 out of 10 on the IMDb rating, 86%. When we talk about the Rotten Tomatoes scores, I think Steven and I both agree the writers for Rotten Tomatoes are garbage, but the audience score is what we're going to look at because that's the people who watch the movie without any kind of bias. So there you go, 86 on the Rotten Tomatoes audience scale. So I think there's a pretty good consensus that this is a good movie. It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
So why don't you give us a summary of what went down for those who haven't seen it? And if you haven't seen it, I really feel sorry for you.
Yeah. So basic summary of the movie. The main character is Clark Griswold, and it's played by Chevy Chase. And sort of, I guess, the main goal throughout the movie, his main purpose is he wants to have a good old-fashioned family Christmas and everything that could possibly go wrong over the course of that does in the worst ways possible. And it's a lot of slapstick humor and a lot of kind of, I guess, lowbrow, but not, I don't know, not to the point that it's not funny. But and then eventually everything just kind of ends up working out to badass explosions and a singing of the Star Spangled Banner at the end, which is hilarious. But that's kind of the overall gist of the movie. I'm pretty sure this falls into that category of a movie that most people have already seen. And if not, you should see it.
Yeah, I definitely think you need to definitely watch this movie. It is second to only a handful, and I would say in that handful is A Christmas Story and Die Hard. I think those are that those three movies are like must sees. I gotta say, out of all the characters in there, Clark takes the majority of the screen time. He's on screen more than anybody else in the movie. However, I think Randy Quaid stole the movie with his bringing back the role of Cousin Eddie. I think, if you haven't seen any of the other Vacation or National Lampoon's movies, you should definitely go watch some of those. But I think, look, Cousin Eddie's one of my favorite characters of all time.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's his timing, his delivery, the fact that he can almost make one of his eyes go lazy. Like in certain times, he's just looking and one of them was kind of stray away for a second. He's so unsophisticated and like so rough around the edges. Like everybody knows somebody like Cousin Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell Cousin Eddie is the greatest dude in the fucking world. He's salt of the earth. He gives you his shirt off his back, but you don't want to have him over for Christmas dinner because he's so fucked up. You don't know what's going to happen. The fact that he was wearing a beige shirt with a black mock turtleneck that just came down to here, and like was unapologetic about the fact that you could see that shit through his shirt and did not give a fuck. He was dressed to the nines. He didn't give a fuck. You couldn't tell him nothing.
Absolutely. Plus, the comedic delivery of "Shitter's Full" is probably one of the best lines ever.
The fact that it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, he's standing outside smoking a cigar, drinking a beer, and emptying the shit tank into the septic system, into the sewers. How much more unsophisticated do you need?
Yeah. It's a great movie. Plus, the thing I really liked about it was like the slapstick humor. We talked about this a little bit. It was almost like a highbrow Home Alone type shit where it's like they set up, it was almost like Final Destination but funny, where it's like it sets up that something.
Let us go back to. All right, I think we're back. I hope we're back. Can somebody out there tell us if we're back? And if we are back, can you tell us if the video fixed itself? Is it still choppy?
Okay, I think we fixed it.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Don't worry, guys. I fixed everything.
Yeah. First of all, Steven didn't fix anything. But I don't know. I think the movie is so relatable because I've been in that situation where you have like I've got a very small
Penis.
like close well that too, but close family. Like I got one sister, and it was me, my sister, my mom, and my dad, right? But my extended family, I've got a ton of cousins and aunts and uncles On my mom's side, my dad's side's a little bit smaller, but I remember having one year we had everybody from both sides of the family over at the house for Christmas, and it was like a literal nightmare because there were literally 75 people at the house at one time, and it was chaotic. There's people talking here and cheeks getting pinched. And, now it's like Brittany's got a pretty good sized family. My family's grown to where, there's 5 kids. There's aunts and uncles and stuff that are always around. So I don't know. I kind of feel like we've all been there.
Oh, yeah. I would like to be able to say that I don't have a cousin Eddie in my family, but the sad truth of the matter is that the majority of my family is made up of cousin Eddies, it feels like.
Yeah. Dude, well, the beautiful thing about this movie is you can look at every character in the movie and it's a relatable person. Cousin Eddie was actually based on the guy who wrote it's cousin. So he's an actual dude. Like Robert. I see Robert as cousin Eddie.
Yeah.
Robert is somebody's cousin Eddie.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. He, like I said, one of the greatest people on the planet. But he's just rough around the edges. And I love it, dude. I don't think anybody in that time frame, we're talking 89, right?
Yeah, 89.
I don't think anybody in that time frame could have done that as well as Randy Quaid did.
No. He did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. And like I said, that's probably one of the highlights. I mean, every character, like you said, is relatable. They're all good, but he was definitely the highlight.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he stole the show.
Yeah. But with that being said, Christmas Vacation 2, which was like almost all Randy Quaid, was too much.
Yeah.
It was too much.
He needed the Chevy Chase's character to kind of like balance him out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what it really kind of aggravated me, though, is the scene in the movie where Chevy Chase goes up into the attic to hide the Christmas presents, right? And he gets locked in there for the majority of the day. Those fucking things are meant to just pull out. So why could he not just push the damn thing down? Like that, it knocks off 1/10 of a point for me. Because it's unrealistic.
Heavy, the entire movie is unrealistic.
And second of all, when he fell through, he was standing on the bunk bed. Literally all he had to do was just go ahead and sit down and then just roll out of the damn bunk bed.
Like,
again, unrealistic.
When he plugs in the lights and it causes a complete power outage, and then somehow all they do is flip a switch and the lights come back on.
But
that's not how that works.
No, that's 100% believable because you, being a power specialist, you know that there is a room somewhere that has a nuclear backup that you just flip the switch and everything goes back to normal.
I hate to tell you that's not a thing.
No, it is.
It would make my job a lot easier, but no, it's not realistic. So that definitely loses 3 points right off the bat.
I don't know about 3 whole points. 3 whole points? You're putting it at a 2 already?
We ain't going to get into ratings yet.
Jesus.
I don't want to spoil it. Maybe the show's first one. Keep watching to find out.
Yeah.
But no.
Whoa! Brittany Patrick saying Andy is definitely cousin Eddie. No, I'm not.
That is an insult to Eddie. Let's be real.
That's an insult to me. Thank you very much.
You were I don't know what character you would be. Eddie's probably the closest. Like I could see you 100% showing up in an RV, most likely that you borrowed without permission and unloading the shitter at 7 o'clock in the morning.
First of all, I don't know anybody with an RV. Second of all, I don't day drink unless I'm on vacation. I guess this was Christmas vacation, so.
I have seen you crack a beer at 11 o'clock in the morning.
That was on vacation. Was it not?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. I rest my case.
We're loosely defining vacation there.
Yeah. Dude, are you drinking a bang at 8:30 at night?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you'll be asleep at 4 in the morning
I work
next
nights,
Tuesday.
man. I always stay up late.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's your favorite scene out of the movie? Let's get to everybody's favorite part of this
Okay,
shit show.
so I've got a couple of favorite parts. Uh, I would say the number one above all else is either the rant, the rant at the beginning that we saw, or the scene where he's standing there looking out the window, dreaming about his pool, and Eddie gets up there with the banana hammock with his wife beater tucked into his banana hammock.
Yeah.
And then the lady from Macy's gets out there and does her little thing. I think that was one of my favorite scenes. But I think the rant was just a hair better because funny fact about that scene, in order for Chevy Chase to get through it, the other actors that were standing in front of him that he was looking at had to hold cue cards with all the filthy shit written on it so he could look at it and say, this, and then they'd swap it out to another one. So it was that much. It was too much for him to remember all of those insults.
The rant was classic.
Yeah,
That was a classic.
absolutely.
For me, I think my favorite scene was when he goes into the Macy's and meets that chick for the first time.
Yeah.
And it is a titty bit nipply in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Did I say nipple?
Did I say nipple? Like, and then his like 8-year-old son walks up as she's showing him how the thong has no lines. Look at that, Rusty, no lines. Can you even see the lines?
Yeah. And then
But-
the look he gives to his son, like, oh
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got me.
That was probably my favorite scene in the movie, but there were a lot of times where I laughed. Like,
Yeah.
that's not something that happens in comedies a lot anymore.
Yeah, it's hard it's hard for me to nail down a specific scene because you think about Uncle, what was his name? Uncle Merv or whatever, and he's standing in there lighting a cigar and blows a whole damn tree up, and he's like, "What is it? What about it?" He takes the cigar out of his mouth. What are you looking at, Clark?
Or like Robert just said in chat, the squirrel.
Oh my God, the squirrel.
Squirrel's great.
Dude, the squirrel. Or the scene where they're eating dinner and the turkey opens up wide open. It's black on the inside. The girl starts crying. The dog is under the table dying. Like, it's just, there's so much going on. Everybody, like they're eating concrete.
I also, one of my favorite was actually the whole side plot with the neighbors that just continuously everything that goes wrong goes wrong.
Yeah.
For them. Oh, dude, that was hilarious. They just like tree crashes through their fucking window for no reason.
Yeah.
When he's cleaning out what is he doing? He's hanging the lights and that gutter falls and it shoots the
Yeah,
ice.
the big icicle.
Somewhat unrealistically.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%. But there's also the fact that, like, he comes out and he's got the ski mask on and he's got the chainsaw in his hand, and the neighbors are like, "Clark, what are you doing?" It's like, where are you going to put that tree? Bend over and I'll show you. And the guy goes, "How dare you talk to me like that? I wasn't talking to you."
Yeah, exactly.
And then puts the mask back down and cuts the tree down. Like, oh my God.
The Jason mask.
Yeah. It's just hilarious, man. The whole movie is fantastic.
Yeah. It surprised me because I'm not a fan of Christmas movies.
Yeah.
They're usually a little bit too joyful for me.
And a little hokey.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Like, everything works out and everyone's happy and then they're a happy family. That's not my drift. I don't really like that. That's why I like Die Hard so much. Everybody dies. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
But
Great movie.
this one, it was sentimental without being overly sentimental. It was funny. and it was funny to the point that I actually laughed out loud, which, like I said, that doesn't really happen with comedies that much anymore. Like,
Yeah, that's hard to accomplish these days.
yeah, like I can be like, oh yeah, that's a funny scene, or like it may get a chuckle out of me, but I actually laughed like a lot during this movie, which
Yeah.
says a lot because it was what, like 30 years ago, and it's still holds up.
Absolutely.
So we've actually had a lot of that where the movies that we've watched so far, they're older movies, but they've held up over time. Which
I think this one stands the test, man. This one stands the test.
it's crazy because like we could get a movie that was made 10 years ago that wouldn't stand up today,
Yeah.
you know? So that's just a testament to show how good those movies were made.
Yeah. So the director of that was he a first time or second time film director?
Well, that's kind of an interesting part of it. The director, which I don't think I wrote his name down because he's essentially a nobody.
Yeah.
Like he's directed, I think, 4 or 5 movies, and the only one I've heard of was this one. And then he directed the Avengers, but not the good one. He directed like the Avengers in the '90s. It was like a spy movie or some shit.
Yeah.
But he never directed anything. But the guy that wrote this movie and
Screening,
produced
but I
it
wasn't able to get up to New York to see it, so
was John Hughes.
this is my first time. So it was actually
God. What the Did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
And I clicked over to IMDb and something popped up at the top and it was like it just started playing. It was autoplay, so
No, it's okay.
that was for the new Jumanji movie.
If I'm boring you, just let me know. You know.
Yeah.
No,
I'm trying
but
to help you out here.
written and produced by John Hughes, and he did Home Alone, Home Alone 2, and the lesser known Home Alone 3. But so he's done a lot of big movies, and he also wrote it. And fun fact, the reason it's called National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is because apparently it's based on a story that he wrote for an American humor magazine called National Lampoon, which I didn't know. Maybe that's common knowledge, and maybe I'm just stupid, but I didn't know that. But yeah. So I don't know much about the director. Is that who you're pulling up?
Yeah.
Let's see. Charlie just said the director was nominated for Worst Director at the 1998 Golden Raspberry Awards for The Avengers. So I think this movie was probably like
Harold
John.
Ramis.
Oh.
Harold Ramis was his name.
Charlie's saying Chechnik. I don't know.
Oh, that was a different scratch that. That was a different movie. That was
Thank you.
Jeremiah Chechik.
Thank you, Bob. We appreciate that. Bob Shorkey just dropped in chat the times that Christmas Vacation is playing on the AMC channel this week.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody wants to watch it, and that kind of would actually be a good transition to the to us talking about kind of the way we feel about the movie. If you should own it, buy it, rent it, or what?
Okay, so this is where we'll talk about the objective, the objective rating. I think objectively, I would say it's a solid 4. Right? It's definitely one that if it's on TV, you should watch it. If your kids want to watch a good Christmas movie, this is a great one. If you got to pay $3.99 on Amazon to watch it, I think it's well worth it during the season. Right? This isn't one that you're going to go out and watch outside of Christmas. Obviously, it's a Christmas-centered movie, so it definitely has a time and a place to watch it. I would say a good solid 4. It's worth renting.
Okay. So
What about you?
give it a 4 and you say it's a rental?
Yeah, on the objective scale.
Okay.
Now on the subjective scale, we'll talk about that after this.
Objectively, I'm going to give it a 3 to a 3.5. Somewhere in there.
That's low.
Well, and here's my reasoning.
Okay.
As good of a Christmas movie as it is, does it stand up as just a movie? Is it something that I would watch in March? No, it's not. It's something that I would watch when it comes on TV. I would watch it during the Christmas season.
Yeah, but I feel like you gotta objectively.
I'm giving it as an objective film, as a movie.
Okay.
I give it like a 3 to a 3.5. And I would say objectively, if it's on TV and you can watch it without spending any money, absolutely. It's one of the better Christmas movies you can watch. If it's on like a streaming service, I would say stream it. Is it worth a rental? Yeah. Do I think it's a buy objectively? Do I think you need to buy it? No. I don't think you have to buy it because it's going to be on TV for free.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
the beauty of it being a 30-year-old movie,
Yeah.
right? You
I mean,
can watch the full movie on YouTube with no copyright strike, like no problems.
yeah, exactly.
So
So that would be my objective, 3 to 3.5. Probably closer to a 3.5. I think it's a good Christmas movie.
now, subjectively, what do you give it?
Subjectively, I'm gonna say it's a must watch, but it's not a must own.
Okay, so what, a 4? You're going to go up to a 4 subjectively?
3.8. I don't think it's a 4.
Get out
I
of
don't
here.
think
We
it's a-
only do half points here. We only do half points. So if you're going 3.8, we're
My
rounding up to a
subjective
4.
my subjective scale can go to whatever the fuck I want it to go
No,
to.
it can't.
Yes,
No,
it
it
can.
can't.
3.8 max.
All right. Well, subjectively, I'm going to give it a 4.5. I think everybody should own this movie for the reason stated by Steven, that this is not something you're going to watch in March. It's not something you're going to watch in July. You know, that's more like a Weekend at Bernie's type movie. But,
Yeah.
you know, is it something you got to have on Blu-ray so you can pop it in and watch it at your leisure if you can't catch it on a streaming site? And look, I remember the days of you had to pop the VHS in and like blow inside the VHS thing to make sure there wasn't no dust on the readers. And like Steven wasn't born then. Like he doesn't remember.
Yeah, what is a VHS?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I remember having stockpiles of VHS tapes because you couldn't stream anything. The internet didn't exist when I was a kid, especially when this movie came out. So, or maybe it did, but it was so infant that nobody had access. But either way it goes, I feel like I have owned this movie my entire life. So I don't see any reason why I shouldn't continue to own it. But I also think, you know, hey, it's a Christmas staple. You know, my kids want to watch Christmas movies, and I tell them, you know, Thanksgiving is the cutoff. Thanksgiving comes and goes. Black Friday, that's when you can start watching Christmas movies, and that's when you can start listening to Christmas carols and shit like that. But this is one that you have to have. To me, subjectively, it's a 5.5. I mean, a 4.5 all day long.
I think that maybe the main difference for us on this movie is nostalgia. Is playing.
Exactly. And I think that I take a lot of that into account.
Yeah, and I think that's why we have this subjective rating, right? For me, like I said, I just saw this movie for the first time 2 days ago.
Yeah.
There's no nostalgia. I thought it was a good movie, but like it didn't tug at my heartstrings. It didn't remind me of when I was 8 years old, you know, and I saw it for the first time. I didn't have but if I watch Home Alone, I do have that nostalgia.
Exactly.
Right? So it rates a little higher for me. I wouldn't say that Home Alone is necessarily a better movie, but for me, you know, it has that whole other layer to it where it's like it reminds me of my childhood.
Well, I'll put it to you like this, right? The movie had Chevy Chase was the star, a huge star at that time. He was on Saturday Night Live. He had a whole string of movies, and he was like that dad that everybody could relate to, but he had that just a little bit of dirty in him to where if you're a kid watching it, you felt like you were getting away with something.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, the movie was one of those, like, it was, you know, my parents are very, very religious, And this is a movie that I could watch that had some dirty language in it, that had some kind of risque chicks in high cut thongs showing some leg and stuff like that. And like, I felt like I was getting away with something, you know? So it kind of, it holds a special place in my heart because like you said, it brings back that nostalgia for me.
That's kind of the great thing about movies, man. It's
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's all subjective. It
Yeah.
really, like, even the objective rating that we try to give or whatever, that's still like, as much as you try to not compare it to another movie, you're going to subconsciously. Like, the whole time I was watching this movie, I was thinking of like, oh, this is kind of like Home Alone in this sense, or oh, this is kind of like, you know, another Christmas movie in this sense. Like, I was kind of just comparing it. So it's kind of hard to be totally objective. It's all subjective. It's all, you know,
Yeah.
you saw it and you think it's a 4.5. I see it, I think it's a 3.5. But we both think it's a good movie.
Yeah, but I feel like if you had that sentimental attachment to it, a 4.5 would be easy for you to justify. And I think you realize that. So I'm actually, because of that point, I'm actually not going to give you a hard time about giving it what I would consider to be a subpar rating.
So you would essentially say that I'm correct.
I would say that your opinion is not wrong.
Which is another way of saying that my opinion is right. Thanks,
I didn't
man.
say it was right. I said it
3
wasn't
weeks.
wrong.
3 weeks in a row that I'm absolutely correct.
It
And
could have been it could be indifferent. And I'm also admitting a lot of bias here. Like
Yeah.
I'm admitting that there's some subjective bias. So
yeah, it was a good movie, but I think that's kind of it with the movie, right? I mean, we both think it's a good movie. I think it's probably more of a rental. You think it's a must own.
yeah.
I'll say it's a good movie. So if he had a pubic hair, he would give it a 5. Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate that. But what I was wondering in chat,
Okay.
if everyone could start saying what their favorite Christmas
Yeah,
movie.
let's see actually, you know what? Let's go one better than that. Let's take a poll real quick in chat. What do you give National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation? What do you give it on the 1 to 5 scale? Because I'd be interested to know. And you know, Leo says it. Chevy Chase was in his prime during this movie, and if you look at the cast, right? If you look at the cast, you had Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Juliette Lewis, the guy from what's his name from Big Bang Theory. He was Rusty, so like the nerd dude. Yeah, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yep.
See, there you go. We're getting some 4.5, 4.5.
A
Charlie
7
gave it
out
a
of
7.
That's
7 out of 5 is pretty stout.
gonna really fuck up the average. Thanks,
Nick
Charlie.
gives it a 4.5. See, I think you're running into, if you look at
Okay.
here's the thing.
All of these people are older than me.
Exactly. That's what I was
Yeah.
about to say. If you look at the age, everybody's a little bit older, and everybody may have some of that subjective,
Yeah.
nostalgic bias in them. And I get it. I understand it.
Yeah, but I can see why people say it's a 4 or a
Mm-hmm.
4.5. I think 4.5 is a little high. I really do. I think 4 would be pushing it.
If you took out the Christmas theme and made it a 4th of July theme, I think it still holds up.
Now then, but here's the point that I wanted to make. Nostalgia apparently means that a movie can make absolutely no sense logically, and you just look past it. Whereas
Well,
another
you also
movie-
got to think, dude, when this movie came out, I was 7 years old.
There we
And-
go. Zach Hager, a 3. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that.
Well, here, okay. So hear me out. When this movie came out, I was 7 years old. That means I saw it when it came out on VHS, and this was released, if I'm not mistaken, in the summertime. That way it could be onto VHS by the time Christmas rolled around. And I would say normally that's how stuff used to work back in those days.
Yeah.
No, it was released December 1st of 89. So more than likely, the first time I saw this was either in a movie theater or on a VHS in 1990. So it means I was either 7 or 8 when I saw this movie, right? When you're 7 or 8 and a dude's on a 30-foot extension ladder and he is hanging off the thing going, oh my God, you're laughing. And then you see this big ice bucket. And I mean, dude, I'm from Alabama. How many times do we get ice? How many times do we get snow? I don't know if a big rod of glass of ice could go flying through somebody's window. But I get it. Using my own logic, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. But here's the difference. Die Hard didn't make sense in the fact that it was supposed to be a logical movie. This is a comedy. It doesn't have to be. It's meant to be outlandish. You know, when you've got Randy Quaid and Chevy Chase, arguably two of the funniest guys in 1989, in the same movie, and they're all it's about is, you know, shenanigans surrounding a Christmas. It really doesn't. Like Home Alone. Home Alone doesn't make sense, but it's a great movie.
Yeah, but
it's an absolute great movie. It doesn't have to make sense because it's comedy.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. It's just, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think if you watched a comedy today that was in that same vein, you would be more keen to pick out the whole, oh, well, that doesn't make sense. Because there wouldn't be that nostalgia attached to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get what I'm saying?
I agree 100%.
Yeah. So I think that's just an interesting thing.
And I watched it the other day again for about the 342nd time. And I tried to be like, okay, pick this movie apart. And it's like every little thing, I just giggled.
Yeah.
I just giggled like a kid, and I forgot trying to be serious and trying to be a movie critic. I gave it up. I gave up on it. I forgot about it. It's a hell of a movie.
We've got one in chat saying that Gremlins is their favorite Christmas movie, and that definitely deserves a spot on the top 5 Christmas movies, I think. Gremlins and Home Alone are probably my 2 favorite Christmas movies, aside from Die Hard.
Yeah.
If we're going like an actual Christmas movie.
So let me ask you this: where does Christmas Vacation land?
I think it's on. I think it probably makes
top 5. Can it eat that 5 spot?
I think so, but only because, like I said, I don't like Christmas movies that much.
Yeah,
the majority of them I don't like.
That's fair.
So yeah, I think.
So you got Die Hard, you got Home Alone, you got
Gremlins. Fuck, Christmas Vacation may get number 4.
Okay, I'll take that.
But that's just kind of saying how much I don't like Christmas movies, because a 3.5 gets the number 4 spot for me.
Gets the number 4 spot.
I don't like them. Like, I didn't like Elf, and I like Will Ferrell. I thought that movie fucking sucked. There's a lot of movies that I don't like that are like, I just don't like the theme. I don't like how overly sentimental they are.
I get it, but you got to look at these movies as kind of like period pieces. How we look at National Treasure as literally a documentary, because I mean it is.
That's a 10 out of 5.
Yeah, you got to look at these movies from a standpoint of, does this do what it's supposed to do for the time frame?
No,
right?
I agree.
So, I think you look at a movie like The Santa Claus. We watched that about 3 or 4 days ago. We sat back and watched The Santa Claus. It's a great movie. Is it sappy? Absolutely. Is it a lot hokey? Sure, 100%. But for the time of year it is, for the kind of story that goes, and you also got to think, when The Santa Claus came out, there wasn't a movie like that. You know, the only Santa Claus movies you had were like, what was the damn, the one with the little stop motion, Rudolph, the little stop motion animation.
Is that the universal sign for stop motion?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, because people got to move it every
Yeah.
every 2 seconds or so.
No, yeah, I see what you're saying. It's just, again, it's a subjective thing.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy them.
Hey, look, I'm
I
not a
think,
huge
like
fan
they
of.
said in chat, apparently I'm a Scrooge. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you're not a fan of horror movies. I personally love horror movies.
I'm not. I don't like feeling too happy, and I don't like feeling scared. I like being at a medium level.
Yeah, I can't stand dramas like dramas or and I'm not a huge fan of sitcom TV shows.
See, I like both of those.
Yeah.
But so why
By the
don't?
way, this episode's brought to you by Dr. Pepper Vanilla Float.
Yeah, I wish we had fucking.
Dr. Pepper, hit us up, bro.
Uh,
New Siskel and Ebert right here.
so
By the way, speaking of Siskel and Ebert, Ebert caught a lot of flack over this movie in particular because he hated it.
he gave it a 2 out of 4.
Yeah, well, he hated it.
That's close to a 3 out of 5.
Well, it's pretty close. I mean, y'all are pretty close on each other's scale so far.
But we also need to make mention before we forget that, just like last week in the comment section, we're going to round out December, right, with Christmas movies. So we're going to make a few changes. Instead of leaving 3 movies, how about everybody just leave 1 movie in the comment section and make it a little bit easier? So not in the live chat, but once the video goes up, if you'll click on the replay and leave a comment as to what movie you want us to watch next week. And we're most likely, once we get some comments, I'm thinking either Friday or Saturday, I'll start tallying them up, and then whichever one has the most votes, that's the one we'll watch. And I'll post that on the Instagram. That way, if y'all want to watch along, y'all know which movie we're going to be watching.
Yeah, and real quick, I don't know, I can't see how many people we have in here right now. I mean, I guess I could if I just
I'll tell you. Hold on.
did something extremely basic like that.
18.
So we got 18 people in here. Let's see. Do y'all want to do a watch party? We could set up a watch party. I don't know, Sunday afternoon, 2:30, 3 o'clock, something like that. Central Time, obviously.
Yeah, I could do that. I should be off of work.
Yeah, if y'all want to do a watch party where we all, watch the movie, the Patreons, obviously we can stream it in the. That's mostly who's watching right now is the heavy hitters, but I mean we can stream it in the Zoom room. Everybody's welcome to come in, or we can get on that Instagram and start rolling with it.
We can do that.
Yep.
We need to talk about that to figure out what we're going to do with the Instagram. Right now, it hasn't taken off yet, but we're going to start putting more effort into that Instagram. That way, it kind of allows more people to know what we're going to be watching that week. So,
Yeah,
because that's kind of where we're going to be announcing each week what movie we're going to be watching. So, and also, just an idea that me and Heavy have been tossing around, and I'm kind of curious to see what chat would think about it. Starting in January, we were thinking about maybe starting to incorporate like Netflix new releases and doing those. That way it's something that everybody, because everybody has a Netflix account mostly, or they're stealing one.
yeah,
So it could be something that everyone has access to, and it would be something new and a little bit more relevant, I guess.
yeah.
And what we would do is like we would look at the new releases for that month and maybe pick out like 5 and then have y'all vote on them. Would that be something that y'all would be interested in or no?
Well, I think we should do that anyways. Is just every week pick out a new something on Netflix and go with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah,
I was just curious to see what they would say.
absolutely.
Right now they're talking about football movies.
Nice. Some people watch football on Sundays. I don't. So I usually watch movies with the kids or by myself because My kids are getting to the point now where they're like, we don't want to hang out with you, dude. So,
Yeah.
oh well. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. That's all I was gonna say. I just wanted to kind of put that out there. And still own and Disney Plus. And that's the thing, like there's so many streaming sites now. Like you could do something from Netflix, you could do something from Amazon Prime
Yeah.
Plus. But that's something we're thinking about doing. We're gonna try to figure out how to get it to where it'll work out for everyone. Football. Okay, apparently they really want us
Yeah,
to do.
they want to watch football movies.
Why
How
has
about-
nobody said Remember the Titans yet?
Why don't we do that around, like, I don't know, Super Bowl?
Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah,
That following Monday, we could do a football movie.
there you go. See? That's how
And we'll-
you get stuff done.
We'll also be doing, just a heads up, because May the 4th, I just want to, put this out there. May the 4th is actually a Monday. So we'll be doing a Star Wars marathon.
Oh, my
May
God.
the 3rd. All 9 episodes.
No, you didn't. No. No, hell no. You didn't run that past me, homie. Jesus.
Okay, we'll do 6 episodes. Disney Star Wars doesn't really count as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, we'll be doing that for May the 4th.
Are you really going to make me watch?
It's May the 4th.
What does that matter?
May the 4th be with you. That's a thing. That's like Star Wars Day. And it falls on a Monday.
What?
It's a thing. I didn't invent it.
Yeah, because it sounds like, what's his name? Mike Tyson saying force. Gotcha.
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, I see how it is. Making fun of people with learning disabilities. Nice.
Okay. Well, wouldn't be. Never mind. Not going to say that.
It would not. It absolutely would not. But that's what we've got, guys. We appreciate you hanging out. We're going to get up out of here.
Sorry
see
that the
you-
stream was shitty for the first 20 minutes, guys. We
Yeah.
apologize.
We figured it out, though. So
Yeah.
we're going to get up out of here.
No problem.
Good night, guys. Happy watching.
Yeah. Bye, guys.